of diesel and biodiesel. And that's working really well in cold weather. So it is an answer to our problems.
Another one of your big issues has been marijuana reform laws, and we'd like to get into that, but I think we're going to first take a break.
We're going to go to a break, and this break comes from, well, last night's Democracy Now! 12th anniversary gala. Our headliner was none other than, well, the man who's sitting right here, music legend Willie Nelson.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to get on the road, everybody say. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way, and our way is on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. Says we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way, and our way is on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Willie Nelson on the road again. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez, and we are broadcasting on over 650 stations. On Pacifica stations, on NPR stations, on low-power FM and college and community radio stations, on public access TV and PBS TV stations, and both TV satellite networks, on Dish Network, channel 9415, Free Speech TV, 9410 Link TV, on DirecTV, channel 375. And we're video and audio podcasting at democracynow.org. Our headlines are also available in Spanish for any radio station to take, or any viewer or listener or reader to read on our website at democracynow.org. And any radio station is welcome to take those Spanish headlines around the world. Our guest today for the hour is music legend Willie Nelson. Juan?
Yes, I was beginning to ask you before the break about your involvement with marijuana reform laws, and what the reception you get around the country when you are involved in the efforts. And some states obviously are changing, but it's been a slow change over the decades now to get the country to reform its marijuana laws.
Well, yeah, and there's several states that's already where it's legalized for medicinal purposes. 12 states, I think, already, and so I think it's a matter of time. It's a matter of education, a matter of people finding out really what cannabis, marijuana is, what it's for, why it grows out of the ground, why it's prescribed as one of the greatest stress medicines on the planet. So there's a lot of things people are learning about it. I think that's why it's becoming more and more acceptable around the world.
Do you think the laws will change?
Yes, they have to. You know, it's just not anything wrong with marijuana if you use it responsibly, and it's not anything for kids. I'm not advocating that at all, but a lot of people will tell you, a lot of doctors will tell you that it is a good medicine for stress, and that's the end of the story, really.
By the way, throughout this interview, if at any point you feel like breaking into song, don't let us stop you.
Thank you.
Tell us about your parents and where you were born?
I was born in Abbott, Texas, a little small town in central Texas, and I was raised by my grandparents. And my parents divorced when I was 6 months old. And my grandparents raised me, and my granddad was a blacksmith. And so I spent a lot of time in the blacksmith shop growing up there. And both my grandmother and my granddad were music teachers and singers, and they sang the old-fashioned shape notes, you know, and we'd sing in church, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And I had a lot of fun, learned a lot, and I feel like that the education that I received in Abbott, Texas was as good and as general as one that I could have found anywhere in the world. Everything that I found in the rest of the world, I found in small amounts in Abbott, Texas, so it was really a good training ground.
You were born what year?
1933.
75.
Yep.
What's your birthday?
April 29.
April 29th, 1933.
1933.
You're still touring regularly?
Oh, yeah. We still do, you know, 150, 200 days a year.
I wanted to ask about the time in Texas, and obviously Texas has always had a large Mexican population and influence, and Tex-Mex music developed in the southern parts of the state. And most people are not aware that there's been quite a bit of intermingling or ties between Tex-Mex and country in general. Any influence at all during your youth?
Yeah, a lot. In fact, I grew up across the street from, you know, the Villarias, which was a great Mexican family there. In fact, there was 3 houses right across the street from me, so day and night I listened to Mexican music, and I'm sure, you know, my guitar playing, singing, writing, whatever, has a lot of Mexican flavor there, but it comes natural.
Can you talk about the whole subgenre outlaw country? What does that mean? How'd you get into it?
Well, Waylon, I think, had a lot to do with the outlaw title, and maybe me too, but we were sort of unconventional, I guess, when we went to Nashville, and we had our own ideas of what we wanted to do and the way we wanted our music to sound. And I mean, Waylon and I didn't even know each other at the time, but we both had the same rebellious ideas, that we were stubborn and wanted to play our music the way we wrote it and the way we feel it. And there was elements in Nashville, and not only Nashville, around the world, where whoever put up the money said, this is the kind of music we want. So there's always that problem, there still is. But Waylon and I managed to get it done our own way, and, you know, they put the label Outlaw on us for doing it. And I wear it as a badge. I kind of enjoy it.
Johnny Cash, talk about your relationship with Johnny, you know, his influence and what he meant to you and what he means to music. Well,
of course, John was one of the original instigators, one of the original outlaws. And he had always done it his way, and he'd always gone against the grain, uphill, whatever. And so eventually it was inevitable that we had to get together. And so,
where'd you meet?
I met him. Well, he and Waylon lived together in Nashville for a while, and Chris was in town, and I was there. So
this is Waylon Jennings, and
Chris Christopherson, and Johnny Cash, and eventually we did the Highwayman recordings and tours, which was a traveling circus. There was 278 pieces of luggage because all our families and kids and everybody traveled with us around the world, and we did 2 world tours that way, and really had a lot of fun.
Can you talk about the music industry and talk about the kind of music that you know, corporate publishing allows, and how you have led your life?
Well, there's always the music industry. There's always the business part of it. And I've always tried to dodge that part of it because I didn't really want to go along with all those things where it has to be done this way. A song has to be 2 minutes long, or has to have this and that in it. So the music industry, or the music business, and I never did really gel that well.
You were with RCA Victor Records?
I was with RCA. Before that, I was with Monument Records, and before that, I was with an independent label. And so through the years, I've been with a few labels. But yeah, I was with RCA when Chet Atkins was running RCA, the Nashville division.
We often on the show try to deal with what's happening to the media companies around the world, especially in the United States. And we've done a lot of emphasis on Clear Channel and the impact of Clear Channel on the ownership of radio stations, on the kind of music that they play. From your perspective as a musician, what's been the impact of all this consolidation of ownership of all these radio stations?
Well, I was a young guy growing up and playing around and playing in Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco, whatever, and taking my band